Hi guys, I have a tripod, so no, oh my god, I don't have to hold my phone for videos anymore. It's so nice. But today I wanted to do the 50 facts, like the 50 facts about me tag thing, but I realised I can't think of 50 facts about me because I am an open book and I tell basically all the people I know everything. Well, I won't hide things if they ask. So it's quite hard to think of like things which people don't know, which they may not know or they do know. But I have like a list here, and then I was like, oh my god, I'll put them in like order of like from when I was born to like now. So I started doing that and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna wing it. So this is 50 facts about me. If you know these facts, then great. I've told you. I'm sorry that you're having to sit through it again. But if you haven't, these are some, like, if you haven't heard them, then you've learned something new about me. I'm just trying to like think of words. I'm not very good at words and stuff, but it's just if I have an audience and things on YouTube, I would like them to know me a bit more than like, because obviously my vlogs don't really explain a lot. I'm like doing a lot of actions in my hand and you can't even say anything. Wait, can I like nah, it's not gonna shrink. I just realised it's wonky. I think that's straight. It's fine. I'm not. There you go. Fact, but that's not the first one. So I'm gonna... Right. The reason I'm doing this video first before I like even get into it is because I want you guys to know me a bit more. I'm not just gonna be somebody talking to the camera. I want you to kind of get to know me and almost like feel like you know me. Because I love watching YouTubers who you feel like you personally know them because they will tell you things. But then there's obviously the YouTubers who you don't really know a lot about, and I think it's nice when you have like when you like know things about the YouTuber. I have like 2 buns in my hair, but that one's lower, that's why it looks like I only have one. Okay, that's gonna get tied up soon. But I'm gonna get into this video. I've just got a pen. I'm gonna get straight into this video with my first fact, which is my full name. And my full name is Holly Irene Ronald, and I took my dad's name, not my mum's, because I'm guessing because my brother has my dad's name, so my mum was like, right, I'll just give them both the same names. And I was born the 10th of May 2000 in the RVI hospital in Newcastle. I was named Holly because when my mum was giving birth to me, there was a holly plant in the room, and I believe she thought it was like unusual because May, it's not a time of year you would expect to see holly, so she thought it was pretty, and then they named me Holly. So I actually have like a genuine story behind my name, which I do quite like now. But when I was younger, like I hated being called Holly because I was like, and there was like teachers who were like, Holly and the Ivy. I'm just like, go away, just like stop. But I actually love my name now as I've got older. I just like it. Because holly plants are like quite pretty. I do like them. I have one full biological brother, a half brother, and then I have a step brother and 2 stepsisters. So my full sibling is my my brother who lives with me. He is called Jack Anthony Ronald, and he is 20 in May. I don't know the ages of my other ones because I don't talk to them. I have a half brother called Billy Lockhart. He is my dad's son, not my mum's child, and he was before my dad met my mum. So, and then my dad's girlfriend has 3 kids. I don't know their last names. It's Christopher, who's the son, Gemma and Casey. Gemma is the oldest and Casey is the youngest. And I'm an auntie of like, if I class like Casey and Emma as my brothers and sister, which I do because like my dad looks after them, they're like part of his kids. And Gemma has a daughter and my brother Billy has a daughter as well, so I'm technically an auntie of 2, and I have not met them, and they're like 2 or 3 years old, maybe older, and I have not met them. So yeah. When I was very little, like baby, I went to Disneyland Paris. I can't really obviously remember a lot, but there is one thing I do remember, which when I told my mum and like things like that. She was like, how can you remember that? You're like in like a pram. But I remember the Disney castle. It's obviously Sleeping Beauty's castle in Paris, and there's like, you can, there's like an underneath of the castle, and I remember there being water in it. Like, I can remember water being in it. But my mum was like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, there's waters and shops and things like that in the castle, which there is. There's like the bit at the bottom, and there's like Maleficent when she's like the dragon, and then the shops in the actual castle, which my mum's like, how can you? I was just like, I don't know. I can remember it, but yeah. And I'm trying to like do this in age order. But another thing I do believe in, I believe in reincarnation, which is quite weird considering I don't believe in a god, but I do sort of believe in a devil a bit more than I believe in a god, because personally I think if there was a god, why would he, like, there's so many bad things in the world right now, and personally I don't believe that if there was a god, like if God was there, that he would let the world become what it has. So I do believe in the devil because, well, obviously he's like all the bad stuff and all that, and the world is kind of upside down right now, so I believe in the devil more than I do God. I'm not Christian, I have not been christened, I have no religion, but I do believe in reincarnation, because when I was younger I used to believe, like, I knew things which I shouldn't have, because I'd never been taught them or things like that, but I believe I like knew them. So I then found out this thing called reincarnation, where people knew things from past lives, and I was like, oh my god, I've been reincarnated. Oh my god, this is why I can remember things. I've been reincarnated. So I believe in reincarnation because of that. Still do to this day. My best friend in the entire universe, except my boyfriend, but sorry, Paul, but my best friend is called Judith, and I have known her since reception in my primary school. So we have been friends for about 13, 14 years. Holy, that's a long time. But I remember when she first came to like visit and see what at that time I was in nursery. She would be joining us in September for the reception. And I remember her coming in with her mum and it being like very close to her and like very scared, and then I was just like, hi new person, hello, I'm here, hi. But yeah, we are best, like I could tell her anything, she can tell me anything. We're always there for each other. Like, we may not talk a lot as much as we used to, but like we could not see each other for months, have a catch up and it's fine. It's like we've known each other that long. She's like a sister now, so it's just like, I know all of her family, she knows all my family. I call her Grand Jen, because that's her name. That's her name to me. It's Grand Jen. Never called her Jenny or anything. It's always Grand Jen. I have lived in a total of 6 different places. So I had my first home, actually it might be 7, because when I was a baby I'm sure I lived somewhere and then I moved to a house because it was too small. But yeah, it might be it might be 7 houses. I think it's 6, maybe 7. But I've lived in a total of 3 houses. I lived with my auntie for a little bit. I've lived in a homeless accommodation, and I've lived in a pub because my mum's ex-boyfriend owned a pub and we ended up moving in with him, which then led to some stuff which made us evidently homeless because we were living there and all this stuff happened, and I'm not going to go into too much detail. That's past, it's happened, it's done. I've like finished this list now, so don't need that anymore. I'm like looking at these and like trying to actually read because I wrote them very, very small. I also, like, back on the reincarnation and things like that, actually not really, but I believe in unicorns and mermaids and fairies and pixies and all those stuff, and like, crystal healing and all of them. why do I believe in all these? I do not know, I just do. And the mermaid one stands from the fact that we haven't explored most of the ocean, so there could be mermaids. Like, literally, there's tons and tons of sea, and we haven't explored it. There's mermaids down there. I can tell you there is mermaids down there. They're just hiding because, well, we've fucked up the earth and they don't want the water to be as bad. But yeah, I'm just like gonna cross them out as well, like once I've read them, because otherwise I will repeat them. When I was younger, I was a total bitch to my mum specifically. Not to like friends or teachers, it's just my mum. A lot of things happened on in my childhood with my mum and my dad, and I'm not going to say my childhood was terrible. I was like, oh, it's so sad. I actually think about it, I loved it. Except for the fact of me being absolutely mean and a total bitch to my mum. Apart from that, my childhood was pretty great. But yeah, I was a very aggressive child. Once I got that annoyed at my brother, he just got a brand new, he just got his first phone. I ended up grabbing his phone and throwing it off a wall. And I broke it. And then I got grounded. I also once had an argument with my mum, and she came into my room, and I had a DS, like one of the old, like it was the first, like one of the first DS's, and I wanted a DS Lite. And I wasn't annoyed at that. Like, we had an argument, and I ended up throwing my DS off the wall. It broke. I cried. A lot of things involves me throwing things. I have a very strange memory as well. I'm sorry, like, for the gaps, but I'm trying to, like, look here and see what I wrote. Wait. That works. I have a weird memory, which I remember things which aren't important, like, as important, but if I get told to remember, like, a date or something, like, I really can't remember it. It just doesn't work. But I have a great memory for, like, remembering directions and places. I can't say them, but I can, like, if I've been to this place a couple of times, I will be able to direct people or drive there myself. I can't drive, but if I could drive there myself. I have quite a good memory for things like that, which is weird. My dad is, well, my dad's family comes from Scotland, so I have Scottish heritage. I have friends who are like, oh, you can't say you're part of the Scottish and stuff like that, but I have Scottish heritage, I can say that. And my family is from where is it? Glasgow. My family's from Glasgow, and where our family like house used to be, there is now an orchard. That's it. There's now an orchard. So yeah, the Ronald house is no longer there, and there's now an orchard instead, which is quite nice. I'm just like looking at all these. I'm just like, right, I'm just gonna try and go for these. I have never ever been on a plane, but I have been to France twice, 3 times if I include Paris when I was younger, but I've been to France twice on the Eurotunnel. I went both with schools, and they were both on history trips to do with like the war and things like World War One and World War Two and things like that, so that's quite fun. I have an extremely large family. Like, also now I include my boyfriend's family as my own because I've been with him for a year, so I've kind of like their family to me as well, and I don't see them differently now that they are part of my family now. Sounds stupid, like, oh, I've been my boyfriend, he's my like, but I'm around his house and I know all his family. Like, I know his mum and dad's friends. I know his gym family. Well, I know he's like, I don't know his entire gym family, but I've heard of them. I've met some of them. I've met like a lot of like people from his old gym and things like that. So I'm quite close with his family, I'd say. Like, they are basically another, like, I bought them Christmas presents and things like that. And I do class them as family, so they are like an extended family. I know it's weird since I've only been with them for a year, and like it's not like we're married or anything, and people are like, oh yeah, it's not that like part of my family until they married. Nah. Like, yeah, they're definitely part of my family. I'm just going down with these now. I gave myself a tattoo which ended up getting infected, and I then had to cut it out of my skin. Yeah, it sounds terrible. It was terrible, but there is kind of a scar still. I'm not sure if the phone will pick it up, but on my wrist, wait, I'll try and block it. No, it's not gonna pick it up. But I give myself a little heart tattoo on my wrist, and it was nice when it wasn't infected. But my friend, I'm not gonna name her, but she has a tattoo of a little alien on her thigh, and she told me how she got drunk in a caravan, and she ended up getting a little alien head tattoo with the stick and poke method. And the way she explained it, she's like, oh yeah, you get a needle and you dip it in ink and stab yourself. So I was like, oh, ink, so pen ink, as in like a biro. So I got a sterilised needle, dipped it into the biro ink, and stabbed myself repeatedly until I had a heart tattoo. I do not advise in the slightest to do it. Bad mistake, don't do. I was vegetarian for 6 months when I was 14, 15, I want to say, because in ethics and philosophy we watched a video of how like the animals were slaughtered and things, and how they were mistreated in like animal rights, and I was like so shocked. I was like, this is like so horrible, like why would people do this to animals and then we eat them? I'm just like, why? And I like went off meat entirely for like 6 months. I then went and feasted at KFC after that 6 months. But I would happily go vegetarian again, but at this moment in time, financially, I cannot do it, because it does cost money to be vegetarian, because you have to buy the proteins, like the vitamins, and then like corn things, like vegetarian friendly and all that. I was homeless for about I think 6 months, and I lived in town in Newcastle at a homeless complex thing where there's like flats, and it was people, it's called emergency accommodation. So I wasn't homeless, but I didn't have a home, if like that makes any sense. So I lived in this emergency accommodation. I had very little possessions and things like that. That was quite tough. That was in 2012 because the Olympics was on, and I went and so the Olympic flame get passed. But again, it sounds weird, but I wouldn't change it, because that 6 months in there, like all my friends with me and they were all supportive, and like I remember I got a message and from mum, she was like, oh, you're gonna go stay with your auntie for a little while until I find us a place to stay. And I was just like, what? And she's like, oh yeah, we have to leave. I was just like, oh, okay. And then this is like just before a PE lesson. And then I just burst out in tears in this PE lesson, and the teacher, I was like, she took us outside, she went, what's wrong? And I went, I'm homeless. And she's like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean you're homeless? I was just like, I haven't got a house. And I just burst into tears. I was like, I've got nothing now. Because like we left all of our old possessions in a house, which we then moved to the pub, and there was like all my stuff there. Which, yeah. That leads on to my next one. I lived in a pub for like 2 years, and I had this huge bed, and it was great. I have a slight obsession with music, not any specific genre. I love lots of different types of genres, and I have like an extensive knowledge of songs and names of them and who they're by. I would say, like, because my mum's raised me on music, kind of, and then I like listen to alternative bands and things like that, and then my friends, because obviously I do music as a course, we like talk about different songs and things like that. And I've actually had the chance to go to a recording studio with my old band, which we were called 6 and 2 3s, and we recorded When You're Gone by Bryan Adams and Mel. It's either Mel B or Mel C. It's one of the Mels. And we recorded that song, and I have it on a CD over there somewhere. But it was fun, and I played bass for that. I'm not going to say I'm proficient in 7 instruments, but I know the basics of 7 instruments. So I know how to play drums, saxophone, guitar, bass, piano, and I wrote 7. Guitar, bass, drums, saxophone, piano, vocals. I feel like I'm missing something. Apart 6 instruments, not 7. But yeah, I'm just like crossing out the ones I've done. I've said you. I've said you. I've said them. I managed to move about 5 times in the space of 2 years, 2 or 3 years. I managed to move 5 different times to 5 different places. 4 different places in the space of 2 years. That was hectic and annoying, and yeah. I have, like I said before, and I've said this in a video already, I believe, I have been in a relationship for just over a year. It will be a year and a month on the 24th of this month. I'm just looking at my calendar, just like, when is that? But yeah, so I've been with him for a year, just over that, and you know what? I'm actually so happy. And for me, a year is a huge deal. I normally like have a boyfriend for like a couple months and then I get bored of them and just like, nah, I'm gonna get a new one. But I'm not bored of him. And like, I love his family, I love him, and yeah, he just makes me happy. And also, I love stealing his clothes. That's like the perk of him, because he's like the same height as us, but like, wait, his like his gloves, like his sleeves cover my hands and things like that. So like that. I have had many different pets through the years as well. I've had 2 cats, 3 dogs, and lots of fish, but my mum is now refusing to let me get any of her pets. My fish were the ones which lasted the longest, because I believe one of my goldfish is actually still alive, and if she is, she was like 16, 17 years old as well. She's an old fish if she's still alive, but I don't think she was. She was huge. She was called Georgina, and my brother had a matching one called George. We both had our own goldfish, and they were called George and Georgina. It was like top naming from my mum, I believe. And I had a British bulldog called Lola. I had 2 other dogs called Missy and Bonnie. Just got a notification on my phone saying battery too low to use flash. What batteries? Oh, it's only on 15. It's fine. And I've had 2 cats. One which they're both up there, so if you can see them, that one was Smudge, and there's a cat there, and that was Bronson. Actually, I think Lola's that's Lola. Can't say it, but that one's Lola. Bronson was originally my auntie's cat, but we looked after him basically in his entire life until she finally got a house, which she's in now, and then we gave him to him, and he was quite old, and he sadly died of cat cancer, I believe. But Smudge, she was at the front of the litter, and we decided to take her home because nobody was going to take her, and we didn't want her to like die, I guess you could say. So we took her home and like tried to like give her strength, and she got better, and she was like quite a happy kitten. And then we had her, and then she got booked in to get like her, I think it's ovaries, like her ovaries removed and stuff, so she can't have babies. And she sadly passed away when they done that operation. She wasn't strong enough to like get through it. But yeah, she was a lovely kitten. Everybody's like, oh my god, she was so evil. I loved her. She was so cute. I'm gonna move on from that because I'll cry. I need glasses, actually. Not many people know this because I very rarely wear them. But I need glasses. I don't wear contacts, I just walk around with no glasses, because when I wear them, I look insanely nerdy, and people are like, oh my god, you look so cute, you look so smart. I'm just like, no. I've needed these since, I believe, year 1. So I've needed them for a while, I just don't wear them a lot. I'm trying to just go for all these. Right. These are just in no order whatsoever, as you can probably tell. But I have a slight obsession with Asia, specifically Japan. I have no idea where it came from. It's not like, oh yeah, I like went to Japan. I was like, oh my god, it's amazing. I've never been to Asia or anything like that. But ever since I was like little, like as in like 3, 4, I've had an obsession with China and Asia, and then it's developed to Japan and the animes and the culture. It's not like people are like, oh my god, you're a weeaboo, it's just the anime and stuff like that. But I'm like, no, the actual culture I love. Like, I really want to go there when the cherry blossoms are blossoming. Can't remember what it's called, but I really want to go to Japan and watch and see that. I want to go like see the geishas, go to the temples and things like that. And people are like, you know, you just want to go for the technology and all that. I'm like, well, let's say if I do go to Japan, I'm going to Shinjuku and going to the robot restaurant. Like, come on, you can't not go to Japan and go to the robot restaurant. Like, come on. And also Studio Ghibli Museum. I'm just like, I love Studio Ghibli. He's great. He's great. It's great. I am really good at using chopsticks as well. Like, ever since I was little, my granny used to take me to Chinese buffets and things like that. And I always try to use the chopsticks. And because of that, like, I got introduced to chopsticks at a young age. So people are like, oh my god, you can use them really well. I'm like, I've been using them basically since I was 3. Like, when people learn to use like knives and forks, I was also learning to use chopsticks because it interested. I was like, oh my god, how can people eat with like 2 sticks? And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. So I learned how to use chopsticks, and I can basically eat anything with chopsticks now. I have several pairs. I have a pair literally there because I had noodles, and I have a bowl. So I'm not going to show that. I am originally bleach blonde as well. There's a picture up there. That bright pink thing is a coat, and in that picture I have bleach blonde hair, which happens because of the sun, but currently my roots are coming in. That's my root, and it's dirty blonde, but when the sun hits on it and if I'm outside a lot, it goes bleach blonde. So when I was younger, I was always out in the sun, so I have bleach blonde hair. All of these bits are like highlights and stuff though, and I'm not ginger. People are like, oh my god, you're ginger. I'm just like, well, I am now, but that was because I dyed my hair red and I dyed it brown to try and neutralise it, and then I got bleached and well, it went ginger. So yeah, when I was younger I wanted to be a fashion designer, like so bad. I don't know why, but I'd always like try and make things. I'm just trying to read what I wrote. I always tried to like make clothes and then design things and things like that, but then I decided that I wanted to be a model, and I think that became from my nana. She was a model when she was like obviously younger. She was a model, and yeah, but I would love to be a model. This is quite a long video, but I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I said this, but I love the colour pink. Like, literally, I have a pink mirror, pink wall, I have pink H, pink money pot, pinks and blacks, and like, oh, my phone's tipping, pastel colours I love now. So I love pastel pinks and things like that. But I've always loved the colour pink ever since I was little. I think it's just cause like, I kind of got, I was just trying to read, I like can't read my writing, so I'm just like, it's because I think it's because like obviously when I was little, my mum was like, oh, Barbie, princessy, ballet, pink, have the pinkness. So it's kind of like just developed into that. But I do like other colours like blue. I like purples. I like mint green, lavender, things like. I do like other colours. I love rainbows especially. My favourite perfume of all time is DKNY Apple, and I actually have quite a funny story. I have in here DKNY Apple, and I also have another DKNY perfume, which is, I don't know, I can't remember the name, but that was my baby wipes. It's this one, and it's like a little heart, and I got this from my boyfriend for Christmas. He asked me what my favourite perfume was, and I said DKNY Apple, and his dad went to get it because I was over his house with him, so he couldn't go and get it, and his dad couldn't find it, and so he told Paul that it wasn't in stock and he got me this one instead. I'm not complaining, it's a lovely perfume, it smells so good. But me being me, I went to the sales in like after Christmas, and I actually wanted to see if they did have it in stock or anything, because if they did I would have bought it, because it was obviously the sales, and they had it in store. So me being me, I went and bought myself the DKNY apple, and I felt so bad because he literally goes on about it all the time. He's like, oh, is my perfume not good enough for you? Is my perfume not good? I'm like, no, it's like lovely. I like wear this, like literally I wear this more and I do this. Like if you can see the difference in level, like that's basically the same. That's like lost quite a bit. I wear this way more than this. But I just like this because it's really sweet. I love the smell of sweet things, but yeah. I like mix them most of the time as well. I have quite bad stage fright actually, but I perform quite a lot on stage. Yeah. But I will only perform if I do duets or group performances. I don't like having solos and things like that. I get scared and I freak and things like that, and I feel like I can't do them, and that goes into my last fact, which is on here. Actually no, I'll do the other one, which will end. Right, I'll talk about my next. I've got 2 left. I sometimes can't control like my singing, because like I'll have a song on, especially in my house, like it's the worst, but like if I'm obviously out places and things like that, I don't want to like draw attention to myself, because I have some issues, which I will talk about in a second. But if I'm in my house and I have my music on, I have, like, I can't not sing. I can't just listen to music. Like even on a bus I'll be mouthing the words. I can't not like sit and just listen to it, unless I haven't heard it before. Then obviously I haven't really got a choice but to sit and listen to it and then learn it and then sing it. But yeah. The last one is going to lead into my next video actually. I have mental health issues, problems, whatever you want to call them. But I just, like, some people are like, oh yeah, mental health problems. I don't like to call them problems. Like sometimes they can be an issue and a problem, but I try to not let them be. I have depression and anxiety. I'm going to talk a bit more about them in my next video. But basically, yeah, they sometimes restrict things I can do. Like, I'm not very confident in speaking to people. It's like one of the reasons I'm doing YouTube is to try and help me get past that. Speaking to you guys, but I'm not speaking face to face with you and things like that, so I can't see your reactions to things, which does help a lot. That also ties into me performing on stage and things like that. I try and do it to try and push my boundaries, because I find if I put myself in situations which I find uncomfortable, sometimes I can get past them, but then some are just like way too bad. Like I can't speak to people about money issues. I can't ask for things, like my boyfriend knows this, because like I can ask things in stores, but if it's somebody I know personally, like he's maybe a couple of times I've like asked him to ask his dad something like on my behalf, and then he'll just go, Dad, Holly wants to talk to you, and I'm just like, I can't talk to him. And he's just like, well, you're gonna have to now. And I'm just like, I'm kind of getting better with like his family and stuff, with asking for things and talking to them about things, but I don't even talk to my mum about issues because I get anxious and I get scared and things like that, so I don't. And then my depression, people when I tell them I have depression, they're like, wait, what? You have depression? You're always smiling, you always seem so happy. I'm just like, that's not what depression is. Depression is basically feeling nothing most of the time. Like, literally, I felt this yesterday was one of my worst. I have like, what the way I call it like a depression session. That sounds stupid, but I like, if I'm feeling really down for no reason, I'll say I'm having a depression session. or like an anxiety session and things like that, and people are like, what do you mean? I'm just like, well, it's the best way of me saying, like, instead of saying, oh, I'm having an anxiety attack, because I don't really have anxiety attacks and things like that, I just get quite scared and I have to like leave the situation and calm myself down before I get to the point of having an anxiety attack. So I call it an anxiety session or a depression session. And basically, when the depression sessions, as I like to call them, happen, I tend to just feel nothing. I don't want to talk to people, I just want to be alone, I want to be quiet, or I want to just sit. It sounds weird, sit like with some candles on and put my headphones in and just literally block out everything and just sit. And like there's been days it's happened at my boyfriend's and he like looks at me, he's like, are you okay? I'm just like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, are you sure? I'm just like, But people know when it happened mainly to me because I would sit there really quietly, and I am very loud, as people know. So when I sit there quietly, if you know me in person, I don't want to be rude or anything, but it is best to just leave me unless I spoke to you about it. So I have a friend called Lauren. I have two friends called Lauren, but this is Lauren, who is in my year. I was talking to her last night, and because we like talk to each other quite a little, we've started talking to each other a little bit more, and she messaged me last night. She's like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. I'm just like, you know, I feel like empty. And she's like, yeah. So I'll talk to her about things like that, and I have certain other people who I'll talk to. But if you see me in person or know me in person and I'm like that, please don't come up to me. It sounds so terrible, but just leave this and I'll be fine. It's the same with anxiety. Meeting new people is the worst. So if if you ever meet me in person, don't get like scared or worried if I don't talk. Like I tend to make like my boyfriend come with me if I'm meeting somebody. I won't ever meet somebody alone. It sounds weird, but like when I first met Paul's parents, I was actually drunk, so I didn't have anxiety and things like that. But I'm going to go into depth in my next video a bit more on my anxiety, because I'm just realising it's like 38 minutes long, this video, and I'm actually going to film my video for next Tuesday now. So that's why I'm in the same clothes and things like that, because I'm like on a rant, kind of, I'm on a roll on mental health. So I'm gonna stop this video here. I hope you've enjoyed learning some things about me. You just don't know things, now you do. But yeah, like, subscribe, leave a comment on a video you'd like me to do maybe, or anything like that, anything. I'm trying to think of like helpful criticisms like that. I would always like to keep my comments positive if you can, because, you know, it's not nice to be negative. I say that and I'm just like, sometimes it's try to be positive with your life, it's good. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, press the bell next to the notifications to like be notified when I upload, because, you know, everybody wants to know when this gets uploaded. This high quality content. But yeah, I'm gonna go now and make a start on my next week's video. I don't know what this is, but yeah, my next week's video, I will happily tell you what that is. It is a mental health video. That's why I'm going to go on about it now, and then I will also, not on Tuesday the 28th, I am going to actually reveal what I'm doing for that in my next video. So the mental health video will have the reveal of what I am hoping to do next week. No, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. That's what it is. 2 weeks. What I plan to do with my boyfriend on a video. That makes it sound weird. But yeah, the video I planned with my boyfriend, I've had to put it on hold because he has a fight on the 25th, so he can't do what I want him to do, what I want to do, because he's dieting. There's another hint. I've probably said it in my weekly vlog. But yeah. Bye guys, because this is now a 40-minute video. So bye!